On March 13, 2013, Jorge Mario Bergoglio of Argentina was elected as the 266th pontiff of the Catholic Church, taking the name Francis. His election marked a significant moment, as he became the first pope from the Americas and the first from outside Europe since Pope Gregory III, a Syrian whose papacy ended in the year 741. Francis represented a departure from centuries of European leadership within the Church, bringing a perspective shaped by his experiences in the global South. He was also the first Jesuit pope. During his pontificate, emphasis was often placed on themes of mercy, social justice, and care for the environment. His encyclical Laudato Si, published in 2015, addressed ecological concerns and global inequality. He undertook numerous international journeys, often focusing on regions experiencing conflict or poverty. His approach was frequently characterized by simpler living and direct engagement with ordinary people. After serving for over 12 years, Pope Francis passed away at the age of 88. His death occurred on Easter Monday, April 21, 2025. His tenure concluded, leaving a legacy defined by his origins outside Europe and his distinct focus on pastoral outreach and global social issues. The event prompted reflections on the changing demographics and priorities within the worldwide Catholic community during the early 21st century. Throughout the later years of his papacy, Pope Francis contended with various health challenges, including mobility issues that sometimes required the use of a wheelchair. Despite limitations, he maintained a demanding schedule of audiences, liturgical celebrations, and administrative duties. The official announcement of his passing came from the Holy See press office on that Easter Monday, April 21, 2025. News of his death at 88 years old resonated globally, eliciting responses from world leaders, religious figures of diverse traditions, and millions of Catholics. Subsequently, the formal procedures marking the end of a pontificate commenced. The Cardinal Camerlengo assumed temporary administration of the Church, initiating the period known as the *seed vacante*, or vacant see. During this period of transition, attention turned toward Francis's nearly 12-year tenure. His efforts toward curial reform, including financial oversight changes within the Vatican, were frequently discussed. His emphasis on synodality, a process encouraging broader consultation and listening within the Church structure, was noted as a defining characteristic of his leadership style. He convened several significant synods of bishops on topics ranging from the family to the Amazon region. Francis often engaged directly with contentious social questions, sometimes leading to vigorous debate both inside and outside the Church. His pastoral approach prioritized encounter and accompaniment, particularly for marginalized communities. Arrangements were made for the papal funeral rites, traditionally held in St. Peter's Square several days after the pontiff's death. Plans for his burial in the crypt beneath St. Peter's Basilica were also set in motion. As the Church entered the Interregnum, the College of Cardinals began preparations for the conclave, the gathering required to elect the next successor to the papacy. The focus shifted from mourning the departed pontiff to the process of selecting his replacement. The funeral mass for Pope Francis was scheduled and subsequently held in St. Peter's Square. As customary, the ceremony drew numerous heads of state, representatives from various nations, and leaders of other religious faiths, alongside vast numbers of Catholic faithful. During the days leading up to the funeral, the body of the late pontiff lay in state within St. Peter's Basilica, allowing pilgrims an opportunity to pay their respects. Long queues formed, reflecting the impact Francis had during his time as pope. Following the funeral rites, the coffin containing Pope Francis's remains was interred, concluding the public ceremonies directly related to his passing. The focus within the Vatican shifted definitively towards the imminent papal election. In accordance with apostolic constitutions governing the *seed vacante*, the College of Cardinals convened in general congregations. These meetings served as a crucial period for discussion about the state of the Church and the qualities sought in the next pontiff. Cardinals from across the globe gathered in Rome for these deliberations. Significantly, a large proportion of the cardinal electors, those under the age of 80 and eligible to vote in the conclave, had been appointed by Francis himself during his pontificate. Their shared experiences under his leadership and their diverse geographical origins, mirroring Francis's own background, shaped the nature of the pre-conclave discussions. The legacy of the first pope from the Americas was thus intrinsically linked to the process of choosing his successor. Throughout this period, reflections continued worldwide on the significance of Pope Francis's papacy. Analyses explored his efforts to decentralize church governance, his outreach to peripheries, and his consistent call for a poor church for the poor. The Interregnum proceeded, marked by administrative continuity managed by the Cardinal Camerlengo and the collective governance of the cardinals, until the doors of the Sistine Chapel would eventually close for the conclave. During this period, the city of Rome experienced the familiar rhythm associated with a papal transition. Security increased, and global media outlets established positions to cover the unfolding events leading to the election of a new pope. The Apostolic Constitution Universi Dominici Gregis Asterisk, issued by Pope John Paul II in 1996, provided the specific guidelines for the election. These rules dictated the timing for the start of the conclave, stipulating it must begin between 15 and 20 days after the papacy becomes vacant. As the general congregations continued, cardinals discussed pressing issues facing the global church. Topics likely included evangelization in secularized societies, interfaith dialogue, ongoing institutional reforms, and the Church's role in addressing global crises. The high number of cardinal electors created by Francis, over 80% of the voting body by some estimates, led to considerable analysis regarding the potential continuity or shift in papal priorities. Would his emphasis on pastoral mercy and outreach prevail? Speculation naturally arose concerning potential candidates or asterisk papabili. Names were mentioned in media reports, though the cardinals themselves are sworn to secrecy regarding their deliberations both before and during the conclave. The legacy of Francis, particularly his focus on synodality and a less centralized church structure, formed a significant backdrop to these pre-conclave considerations. The cardinals grappled with how best to lead a diverse global flock of over 1.3 billion Catholics. Subsequently, the date for the commencement of the conclave was formally announced by the Dean of the College of Cardinals. Preparations intensified within the Apostolic Palace, specifically readying the Sistine Chapel and the Casa Santa Marta, where the cardinal electors would reside in seclusion. On the designated morning, the cardinal electors gathered in St. Peter's Basilica for the asterisk Missa Pro Eligendo Romano Pontiffis, the Mass for the election of the Roman pontiff. It was a solemn occasion invoking divine guidance for the crucial task ahead. Later that day, the cardinals processed into the Sistine Chapel, chanting the Litany of the Saints. After taking a solemn oath of secrecy and obedience to the rules of the conclave, the master of papal liturgical celebrations proclaimed extra omnes, meaning everybody out, and the great doors were sealed, marking the official start of the conclave to elect the 267th pope.